Hi, I'm Ted Raddick with the Courier Sports Department. I'm here with Dave Heineman and Brandon Schreider, and welcome to Week 8 of the Courier's Chalk Talk, presented to you by our sponsor, Rhodes State College. Be sure and visit their website at rhodesstate.edu. And boys, I think it's that time of the year where it's time to talk playoffs. So, be honest about it, nobody in Divisions 1 through 5 has a legitimate chance. So we go to Division 6, Region 22, where Columbus Grove is currently sitting 6th.
Actually fell second last week, fall to 6th this week with the 2-point loss to Spencerville. Definitely still alive, obviously, alive in the NWC as well, but you kind of get that feeling they might have to win out to go to 7 wins to really stay in the playoffs there in that region.
And they have a good shot to do that with Jefferson, Allen East, and Bluffton remaining on their schedule. You know, I covered Grove and Pandora week 1. Grove scored on the 3rd play of the season on a long touchdown pass, kicks the ball off, Pandora gets it, fumbles the ball away on about their 20-yard line on their first drive. Referees completely miss it. You can play the what-if game. What if Grove gets it? What if they punch it in? What if they go up 2 scores 4 minutes into the game? Boy, it might be different for the Bulldogs if that had happened. Division 7, Region 26. That's where a lot of our teams are. And boy, Dave, it is tight.
Well, we talked a couple years ago. Most of our area schools are small schools, and most of them are in Region 26. A couple years ago, we had very few of them that were doing well. There were some schools from outside of our area that were getting into the playoffs that we snickered at. I mean, they were schools that were not successful. They got in the first round of the playoff, and they just got plastered. This year, Region 26 is I feel, the toughest region in the state in Division 7. You're looking at Lipsick down there. Lipsick is 6-1, and they're fighting for a playoff spot. They're in the number 8 spot.
Right.
With the points they have in Region 25, 27, 28, they would be 4th or higher.
Right.
And they would almost be guaranteed to playoffs. They're going to be fighting for a playoff spot here in 26.
Arlington is currently sitting out of the playoff picture, Brandon, at number 9, but they have Lipsick in week 10, and wow.
Right,
what
yeah,
a game.
that's going to, kind of has that feeling. Arlington's going to have to win that maybe to stay in there. Obviously, losing 2 of the last 3 weeks, too, certainly hasn't helped their chances, but like you said, the game against Lipsick will definitely be a chance to redeem themselves. And even one spot below Arlington is Patrick Henry playing Bryan. Both those teams are undefeated in their conference. So Patrick Henry's certainly not out of it as well. They can get Harbin points this week against Bryan, and week 10 against Liberty Center as well. So.
Right, and they still have that win over Archbold in their hip pocket. Archbold's kind of struggling right now, but I figure they'll pick it up and get some second-level points by the end of the year.
To start 0-3 and still have a chance to win out and secure the playoffs.
South Central is 6th, and Norwalk St. Paul is 7th, and they play this week, so I don't know. Maybe the loser gets knocked out. Who knows?
Right.
Well, when you look at Region 26 and what happened here in the past couple of years, Norwalk St. Paul used to go east to the region over there. They're now in with the Northwest teams, and Mohawk dropped from a 6 to a 7. So you're talking 2 extremely strong teams dropped into this region.
Right. I think we can all say that Mohawk's number 1, Macomb's number 2, Pandora, Gilboa is number 3, and nobody has clinched yet, but I
it kind of has that feeling those 3 could lose out.
They're in,
probably.
Right. Down in Region 28 is Riverdale, and they are currently sitting 10th, Brandon, and they're going to need to pull some upsets to get in.
Right. The next 2 weeks, definitely some winnable games, but it looks like that week 10 game against Pandora, Gilboa, certainly not going to be favorites, but a win there. It could give them their first playoff berth since I think it's 2008 was the last time they've been in, and they're sitting, like you said, 10th. So certainly not out of it, but they're going to need a big week 10 win probably to really have a chance.
Okay, and we'll continue to talk about this some more next week. I think some things will solidify, hopefully.
Things will shake out a little bit, yes.
We want it to be fun. We want playoff spots on the line in Week 10. So, but this Friday night, Dave, you'll be in Lima as the Trojans go down to play Lima Senior, who won a game this year against a team from Columbus that turned out to be a scam, and that win was taken away from them.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
Yeah, but very winnable game for Findlay, I would think.
Well, it would be. These are two teams trying to overcome a season full of mistakes and injuries. Lima Senior's senior quarterback was out 2 games ago. He was back last week. He's a dual threat to run and throw. The one thing about Lima Senior is they have game-breaker players, especially a wide receiver named Jaleel King, who has 20 catches and 9 of them have gone for touchdowns.
Okay.
They're a very explosive team.
Gotcha.
But these are two teams that need to overcome a lot of mistakes that they've made, and I think whoever makes the fewest mistakes Friday night can come out on top.
Okay, I will be in Mount Blanchard on Friday as Riverdale hosts Van Buren, and Riverdale's got to have this one. They've beaten the teams they're supposed to beat so far. They've lost to the teams they're supposed to lose to. Van Buren's a Division V school.
Yeah.
Kind of a toss-up game. Falcons got to have it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's kind of really been their story the past couple years as well. Is they beat the teams they're supposed to beat, but they don't really get any of those big wins. But even like you said, with Van Buren being in Division V, I mean, that's still Harbin points available for them. So, and even looking down the schedule, a couple other games I was kind of keeping my eye on. We obviously already touched on Patrick Henry Bryan, which is maybe the best game in our area this week. But then we have Cary and Winford. Not sure if Cary's chances at the league title are really still alive at this point, but obviously they are for Winford. Cary has yet to beat Winford since the N10 was created. They beat them last year in the playoffs, but they have not beat them yet in the regular season. So you got to think Cary's still obviously fighting for a playoff spot, and they certainly want to play spoiler to Winford in the conference as well. Another one to look at, maybe not a big game, but Elmwood versus Fostoria. If Elmwood were to get a win here, that'd be their first time winning back-to-back games since 2012 after winning, I think it was last week, over Rossford.
Right.
So that's something to keep your eye on. And then even, I'm maybe reaching here, but Pandora Gilboa, Corey Rawson. Corey Rawson's won 3 straight, certainly not Pandora Gilboa caliber teams, but Tommy Stauffer is averaging in those 3 games 22 carries, 247 yards, and almost 4 touchdowns. So Pandora Gilboa maybe has the best defense in our area. So let's see how close he can come to those numbers.
Right.
Not sure Corey Rawson's going to come out on top, but it's still something to look at there. And
Sure.
so that's kind of the couple games I'm looking at in the area this week. So
Okay. Well, we'd like to thank our sponsor once again, Road State College at roadstate.edu, and we will see you next week.